anywhere near where you're supposed to be.
Right.
So yes. That's a different story.
Well,
Right. But the whole reason they're putting them in there is because they went to elementary.
So is this gonna be live streamed on the house stage?
Absolutely
Yep,
no
so
history
on the
of
house spins.
your cars going in for service or anything. So
Yeah, we got
it's
Instagram ready.
available as anything. Put these things in there and that
And yeah, then they're
tell us every time there's a service, we can see.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
So that's like we're trying to create a history.
You have way better eyes than I do.
Oh yeah, we're still into it. Hello.
two days in a
I
row,
know,
hard to
it was
believe.
crazy times, and you all,
Hey, John, what up?
Nice to meet you. Good to meet you. Hey, Andy Scritchfield. February.
February,
So.
so it's almost coming up on a year.
Okay.
So he's a
Where you
former
been riding?
WTOP.
Oh, GOP?
Yeah.
You gonna be in the next Dave McConnell?
No, Mitch Miller
Yeah,
took
yeah,
over
that's
the
it.
job.
Oh, yeah, that's
on that
what-
one, so I
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of us shoot radio.
They should be pretty prompt. They finished the caucus meeting just a few minutes ago, so, but they won't start until 10:45.
Yeah.
So they get here a little early, and then we'll get reading a little bit. But, yeah, good stuff. Making sure all our lights are. No, lights are all off, and I'm like,
It's good.
Yeah.
the pool, yeah.
Full of convenience.
Yeah, so then that, you can do it, you know.
I prefer the pool of India.
I use cameras.
Because we don't mandate it.
Yeah.
It's all unilateral.
Okay.
But we have to get together and decide
Okay.
one camera for all.
I just need to know how much pressure to put on myself.
Yeah, what's this guy number?
And steady.
Two or three now in the leadership, on the downside?
So he is three. Yeah, two. He's two. Because I had to think about it.
So,
The thing was, state system in the office is three.
yeah.
But there's, yeah, and then it's Clark. And then it's Luke. Or then it's the fourth is the-
Any Reuters really try.
So I, there seems to be battling that out right now.
Hey, yeah, how's it going? Quick question. See, at GD, I'm in NASAT, you should attend the press thing, do they have to sign up ahead? And they just come in and, okay, yeah, somebody's got a press conference. No, cause I, yeah, cool, perfect.
No. They just need practice.
You can always say everything.
That's true, that's true. Yeah, sorry.
He's a training guy.
Just get emails with them all the time. See, I was literally making a 40 contractor. I decided not to go for it because they don't have it.
Do you all name this camera Utah?
And they can't. You can't work. It's free extra for a year. So it's like weird.
Oh, I love that.
It's stashed down in the other, I know it's-
Like, I'm not seeing things,
Put
right?
them on the list. I constantly get all these.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
I can train you.
It should be in there, I took.
This camera always.
Training.
Let me find, well,
Thank you for saying. Oh, I love
yeah.
that. But it only, yeah. And could we look, I don't know if we would want it or not, but could we look at, was there sound when his last speaker run collapsed? I remember we were there, I don't know if Quinn had a camera, but I can't remember how we handled it on air.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he didn't talk to us, I think he just like was like, don't answer me. But I'm just kind of interested in that, just conveyance of this moment issue, essentially. And the only we do, yeah.
Hey, it's Bart. Just want to double check you're still seeing me, hearing me?
That's cool, okay.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Let's see if we have a little
All right,
video
bye-bye.
more than that, and I'll figure out, I think that's more debrief, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Joined here with Caucus Vice Chair Ted Lieu. Both of us look forward to hosting these moving forward. We had a productive caucus meeting today in a new room, but the same energy and excitement amongst our colleagues, welcoming the new members, of course, to Congress. Democrats are unified. House Democrats are unified. You saw that yesterday. We're unified behind lowering costs, creating good-paying jobs, and building safer communities. The contrast between House Democrats on the chaos and confusion taking place on the other side of the aisle could not be more clear. For the first time in 100 years, there was not an agreement for Speaker of the House on the first ballot. Multiple ballots, and almost 24 hours later, there's still no clear sign of a speaker. Let's hope that this isn't a rerun of 1855 and 56 when it took 133 ballots. What we saw was the true character of the modern-day Republican Party, obsessed with power and their own personal advancement at the expense of working families and the needs of everyday Americans. That makes it harder for us to find common ground, but that's what we seek to accomplish. We want to work with reasonable Republicans and continue our record of bipartisan legislative achievements in this Congress. But we need willing partners in order to do that work. And right now, those willing partners are in short supply. I now have the privilege of introducing, for the first time in this role, Caucus Vice Chair, my colleague and friend from California and classmate from the class of 2014, Representative Ted Lieu.
Thank you, Chairman Aguilar. And I first want to say that the chairman gave a terrific nominating speech for Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker. And I know that Chairman Aguilar had to give that speech 3 times, and we only nominated one person because Democrats are unified. And if you saw what Democrats did when we were in control of the House, we passed the American Rescue Plan to get our economy back on track. We passed the infrastructure law to rebuild America. And we passed the Inflation Reduction Act to reduce our deficit and tackle climate change. And in contrast, when Republicans are in control, you get chaos, confusion, and crisis. Now, yesterday, many Americans saw this confusion and crisis. And look, for one day, I think it was unfortunate. We can deal with that. But now it gets serious, because we effectively don't have a House of Representatives. This can't keep on going. You can't have one branch of the federal government simply not function. And so I hope that Republicans are able to nominate and unify behind one person, whoever that may be, because we need Republicans to govern if they can. If they cannot, then they should let Democrats govern.
Questions to start? Javier from Telemundo. Look, these are all, hypotheticals. Something like that has been done, historically in the past. We're not going to, entertain that from this podium. Right now, our caucus is prepared to advance the name of Hakeem Jeffries, the lead vote getter for the first 3 ballots. That's what we plan to do right now. But look, we understand the options, in front of us, but we're not going to engage in any, hypotheticals, at this point. Go.
For a house that is not making agreements in the basics, what does that tell to the American people about the new Congress?
I think it's unfortunate. As the vice chair said, this is who they are. Crisis, confusion, disarray. It's unfortunate that's what the modern day, House Republican Conference looks like. But we knew that. We knew that going in to this, and they've delivered exactly who we thought they were in that respect. It's unfortunate, and as the vice chair mentioned, this is going to start to impact, operations, of the House moving forward. We want to find that common ground. We hope that there are Republicans that we can work with in the future, but this is the key organizing principle of Congress, which is the first item of business before our members can take their oaths, and it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the relatives, the spouses, partners, and family members who came to town for new members. Some of them might have to depart town. We remember being new members and what that was like, to take a picture, even with the speaker of the opposing party. Like, a lot of people spent so much time and energy to win these offices on both sides of the aisle. And so I feel for those family members who now have to navigate those travel plans. Max?
Have you heard reports from any of your members being approached by moderate Republicans about potentially backing a unity candidate for Speaker?
Again, I mean, these the hypotheticals. I haven't been approached about any of that. We know that some of those have been reported, and some of those I don't think there's a lot of basis. In fact, we've been very clear that we want to work. We want to work to deliver legislative achievements to the American public. If there was something that was real, we would look at that. But I haven't seen any proof that Republicans are willing to engage. Lisa?
Sort of an easy one, but we're at this point where there are no committees, there are no House rules. I believe you all are not members of Congress yet. I believe you are. Tell us about what your status and what is this time like right now, and what does it mean for your ability to get things done as members?
We haven't been sworn in. We're representatives elect. I'm told that the rules, the laws still apply to us, but we're representatives elect waiting to take an oath. But there could be a point at which it does mean something to the constituents that we serve, whether we can engage in casework on their behalf and help individuals navigate the federal bureaucracy, back at home. We want to do everything we can to help.
Are there typical things that you guys can be doing that are limited right now?
Right now, our focus and we're working with our staffs to make sure that we're following the letter and the spirit of everything that we're allowed to do. But we don't have status as members until we organize, and that's unfortunately as a result of this Republican chaos. And so, there will come points where other things are impacted. Committees can't hire their staff members as well because there are no committee chairs and ranking members. This is a crisis of the Congress, and it's a crisis at the hands of the Republican dysfunction. And so that's where we are until we have the main organizing principle, which is electing someone to lead this Congress and taking our oaths, which is so important. Vice Chair?
Thank you. I just want to follow up on what Chairman Aguilar said. Because we haven't been able to negotiate ratios with the Republicans, that they've said they can't do that until they have a speaker, we can't even appoint any of our own members to any committee. So that slows everything down for a pretty long time because we can't even constitute committees. So this is having a very real-world impact. And again, it's because of Republican chaos and dysfunction that you're seeing.
In the front.
Looking forward even further, assuming eventually somebody ends up being the speaker, is there a different way that House Democrats in a minority are going to have to approach legislating when it comes to, must-pass bills to fund the government?
our legislative achievements of the last Congress are very clear, and there is important work to be done to implement that agenda. Our focus is very clear, but the House of Representatives at its core, and as you saw yesterday, is a majority-run institution. There are bills that we need to get done. There are bills that historically have and continue to be bipartisan. I think of like the Farm Bill, and I think of the National Defense Authorization Act. You know, those are things that likely, you know, could get done if we had willing partners on the other side who wanted to work in a collaborative way. Those are things that historically have gotten done, and we look forward to working with our colleagues. But the key organizing principle in front of us is that we have to have a speaker, and you can't have committees, ranking members, and chairs until you have that key step, and that's where we are.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given your concerns, have you had any conversations, or has there been any outreach from the other side of the aisle, and would any of your members be willing to vote present?
No, we haven't had those conversations with our colleagues. Our colleagues, as you saw yesterday, are committed to support Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker. I plan to nominate him again at the top of the noon hour, and we'll have a roll call vote, and we'll see what's changed. But that's on our colleagues on the other side of the aisle to determine if something has changed. But I'm not aware of any outreach. Mariana?
I know you don't want to engage in hypotheticals, but we're obviously still at a point waiting to see if McCarthy has enough votes. Jordan, obviously getting votes. Scalise is obviously the number 2. If McCarthy can't get there, maybe he throws his hat in the ring. What is your relationship with both of those men, or all of your Democratic leaders now? How do you see yourself maybe working with Scalise or Jordan if we get to that point? Understand it's hypothetical, but you have relationships with them.
I can tell you that the Representative Scalise, reached out to members of our leadership team. After our internal caucus organizing, he reached out and congratulated us on the positions. I think he reached out and talked to Leader Jeffries and Whip Clark and I. I've had a cordial relationship with him. Obviously, is an adversary on the baseball field, kind of grounded in that. But it hasn't been a working relationship. It's just been very cordial. We respect the office that all of them hold, but we look forward. This is on them. Whoever they advance, I hope it's someone we can work in a positive way for the American public. But I don't know if that's going to be Kevin McCarthy, Steve Scalise, Jim Jordan. Chaos and confusion is the rule of the day over there, and so we just don't know what that will lead to. And many of us individually have come from delegations, worked with members on the other side of the aisle in committees, sometimes on social things like the baseball stuff, obviously. And so some of us have these, relationships where we can disagree. I know the vice chair as well, has relationships where we are going to disagree with our colleagues on the other side of the aisle, but we can still be, cordial about it. I look forward to more of that in the future. But the key organizing principle in front of us is we've got to elect a speaker and take an oath.
I was in the California State Legislature with Kevin McCarthy at the same time. I've known him for many years. Whether or not he's Speaker, it's very clear that that position has already been significantly weakened because of what happened yesterday and what happened before. Essentially, Kevin McCarthy has agreed that if he were to be Speaker, he could be fired at any time if 5 members basically said they wanted to have a motion to vacate. So that puts a significant leverage opportunity for the caucus and the Republicans to do whatever they want to fire their own speaker. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I know they've already weakened that position just by having that agreement.
Amen.
Mr. Chairman, given all the uncertainty going on right now, January 6th, the 2-year anniversary is coming up on Friday. I wanted to know if you had any thoughts, given your role on the committee, and with everything going on right now with the speaker's race, there is that cloud of January 6th, the 2-year anniversary on Friday. So I want to know if you had any thoughts on Friday.
Yeah, it's not lost on me the week that we obviously have this in front of us, and the organizing that this Congress has to do, but it's not lost on anyone on our side of the aisle the importance and significance of January 6th this Friday. I look forward to participating in events or in any opportunity that allows me to reflect on that day. All of us in the chamber have our experiences personally from that day, but what that means to the officers who protected this chamber and held that last line on our behalf, and the threat that democracy faced that day. But for me personally, the wind down of the January 6th committee, the respect and reverence that I hold for Benny Thompson and Liz Cheney and the other members of the committee for the work that they did in advancing that final report. It's something that I still, probably haven't taken in as much, given the aggressive schedule that we've had and the importance of the work that is in front of us. But my belief is that Leader Jeffries will in some way demonstrate that House Democrats are committed to remembering that day and the sacrifices of those who protected this place, this chamber, and this democracy. Scott. Scott.
I know the committee itself has disbanded now in the new Congress, but do any of the committee members have any plans to promote the report itself, the findings of the report in any sort of public fashion, speeches, or any public appearances?
The vice chair's been keeping me busy doing this job, so that's my focus. The caucus work and the caucus role that I occupy is the primary focus of me and my office. We spent so much time, and some of you I've said this to privately, and I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but it kind of feels like camp. The 9 of us spent so much time together. I also feel like maybe we needed a little bit of time apart this holiday season. We just spent so much time reading documents, sitting in depositions, trading texts and emails. We still have a group text thread. We still communicate happy holidays. We're very mindful that a couple members have moved on. Very thankful for their service and wish them all the best in their future endeavors. And I look forward to staying in contact with those members, the retiring members specifically, Liz and Elaine, Stephanie and Adam. The time and space we occupied 18 months doing that work just personally means so much to me as a legislator. But at the appropriate time, look, if there's invitations, if there's things, if those members want to get together, whether it's in a social occasion or whether it's in something more formal to talk about the work that we did, I'd welcome that opportunity. But right now in front of us, this is the job I have. This is a job the vice chair and I asked for, and the thing that I want to do, and I want to do it well. Thank you, guys. Yeah. On January 6th.
First, I just want to say Chairman Aguilar did an amazing job on the January 6th committee, as well as the entire committee. And the significance of January 6th wasn't just the attack on our Capitol. It was why it was that day. It's because it was a certification of the Electoral College results. Imagine if we had to do that right now. We couldn't, because we don't even have a House of Representatives that's been sworn in. So I asked the American people 2 years from now, would they want a Republican majority in the House who couldn't even get together and swear in members? I don't think American people are going to want that. I hope they consider that 2 years from now.
Thank you.
Are you going to oppose a motion to adjourn?
We'll see what happens.